So guys, let's talk about something most people don't get, and that is how real wealth actually works. Guys, I'm not talking about the flashy, look at me, I'm rich kind of rich, but the actual kind where you actually have money, freedom, and security. The quietly wealthy people are the ones who could buy a Lamborghini tomorrow, but still drive a regular car because they don't really need to prove anything to anyone. Most people are out here just trying to look rich. But quietly, wealthy people on the other hand, they are just rich. And they got that way because of a few key habits. So guys, sit back, relax, and let me break it down in this video for you. Let's quickly dive into the first habit. They don't try to look rich. One of the biggest differences between people who have money and people who want to look like they have money is simple. They don't feel the need to prove anything. They're not out here flexing designer brands or taking fake private jet photos. You'd actually see these people on the street and truly never really guess that they're sitting on millions of dollars. Why is that? Well, because they don't waste money on status symbols. They understand that real wealth is freedom, not some overpriced Gucci shirt. They invest their money in things that actually grow, not things that depreciate the second that they swipe their credit card. Meanwhile, most people are out here financing cars they can't afford just to impress people who don't actually care. Now, the second habit on my list is that they spend money where it actually matters. Now guys, don't get it twisted. Quietly wealthy people do spend money too. They just spend it where it counts. Instead of wasting it on dumb stuff, they put their money into things that improve their life long term, their health, their education, and things that save them time. For example, they might drive a 10-year-old Toyota, but they'll drop serious money on a high-quality mattress or a standing desk. Why? Because they know good sleep and a strong back will keep them working at their best for several decades to come. Every dollar they spend is not intentional. It's not impulsive either. Now, the third habit that I have on my list is that they focus on owning, not just earning. Guys, a lot of people think that getting rich means making a ton of money. But quietly wealthy people, they know that it's not just about how much you make, it's about how much you own. Instead of just chasing a paycheck, they look for ways to build their equity. Whether that's in stocks or real estate or starting a business, they focus on assets that make them money while they are sleeping. Most people work their whole lives just to make some money for someone else. But the wealthy guys, they make sure that their money is working for them. Now, the fourth habit that I have on my list is that they have multiple income streams. So, if there's one rule that quietly wealthy people live by, it's this. Never rely on one source of income. Most people, they just have one job, one paycheck, and honestly, what happens if they lose that? They're screwed. Wealthy people don't play that game. They set up multiple streams of income, investments, real estate, online businesses, whatever. That way, if one dries up, they've got all these other ones to keep them afloat in the meantime. It's all about financial security and freedom. They never want to be in a position where one bad month could absolutely ruin them. Now guys, before I get into my fifth habit, if you feel like you're gaining value from this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and comment down below. Your support really goes a long way with this channel, so just liking, subscribing, and commenting really goes a long way. Alright, now the fifth habit on my list is that they're just comfortable saying no. Wealthy people, guys, are ruthless with their time and money. They don't go and waste energy on things that don't matter, and they are not afraid to say no either. Just look at Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. This guy seems to be the most shrewd, ruthless investor that the sharks have on that show. And if you watch the show regularly, you'll see that Kevin really has no issue telling business owners that their business is not good or they should stop it, or that he just would say no to the investment. The opposite of this Mr. Wonderful are people that just say yes to everything. These are things like bad investments, pointless meetings, people who waste their time because they don't want to offend anyone. But guys, the quietly wealthy people, they know that every yes is a trade-off. Saying yes to something meaningless means saying no to something important. Alright, number 6th habit on my list is that they don't obsess over the stock market. Now, you know those people who check their stocks every 5 minutes, freaking out over every little dip? Yeah, well, quietly wealthy people, guys, they don't do that. They take a long-term approach. They invest in solid assets, they keep putting money in, and they let time do the work. There's no panic selling with them, no chasing the latest hot stock. Wealthy people know that the real wealth is built through patience and consistency, not trying to time the market like some wannabe Wolf of Wall Street person. All right, guys, now the seventh habit on my list is that they use debt the right way. So most people hear debt and they immediately think it's a bad thing. But quietly wealthy people, they know that there's good debt and then there's bad debt. So, what's the bad debt? Well, bad debt are things like credit cards, car loans for a car that you can't afford, buying dumb stuff that loses value. What's good debt, on the other hand? Using borrowed money to build your wealth, like taking out a mortgage on a rental property that pays for itself, or leveraging business loans to expand a profitable company. The quietly wealthy people, they don't avoid debt. They just use it strategically to create more wealth. All right, now the eighth habit on my list is that they read more than they scroll. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, most people waste hours every day scrolling through social media, watching pointless videos, or arguing with strangers online. Quietly wealthy people, on the other hand, they use that time to learn. They read books on investing, business, psychology, anything that makes them sharper. They listen to podcasts, study financial reports, and constantly upgrade their knowledge. Why? Because the smarter you are, the better decisions you make. The sharper you are, the more people see that from you. And they tend to take you more seriously. And of course, the better decisions that you make, the more money you make. All right, now the ninth habit on my list is that they automate their finances. The quietly wealthy people, they don't rely on willpower to save and invest. They make it automatic. Once their paycheck hits, boom, money automatically goes into their investments, their savings, and their retirement accounts before they even see it at all. There's no thinking or no debating or no, I'll do it later. It just happens, guys. This removes the temptation to spend, and it ensures that they're always building wealth, even when they're not paying attention. Now, the 10th habit on my list is that they build a strong network without bragging about it. You guys ever notice how the richest people always seem to know the right people? That's not by accident. Quietly wealthy people surround themselves with other smart, successful individuals. They network strategically and learn from mentors and build relationships that open doors to bigger opportunities. But here's the key. They don't go around name dropping or bragging about who they know. They just move in silence and let the results speak for themselves. All right, now the 11th habit on my list is that they treat their health like an investment. Guys, a lot of people chase money at the expense of their health. But wealthy people know that if you're too sick to enjoy your money, then what's the point? They prioritize good food, exercise, sleep, and stress management because they know that their body is the most important asset. Guys, you can always make money, but you can't buy back your health. All right, now the last habit on my list is that they play the long game. The biggest difference between quietly wealthy people and everyone else is that they think in decades, not in days. I just want you guys to imagine this for yourselves. Every time you start something new, whether it's a YouTube channel, a TikTok channel, an Instagram, or anything at all, any type of business that you think is important to you or that you're doing on the side, don't think in 30 weeks, I better see results, and if I don't, then it should be over at this point. Or, for example, don't go to the gym and again for 30 weeks you expect that now you're going to be super ripped or cut or looking great and you can impress everybody around you. The reality is I want you to change your mindset from a 30-week period to a 30-year period. Once you're able to master that, you're not going to look at the day-to-day improvements and then think that it should actually be somewhere at this time. But after 30 years goes by and you've been doing it consistently, then I want you to look back and see the improvements that you made, and you'll see it's been working. Guys, the quietly wealthy people, they're not chasing quick money or getting rich off of those get-rich-quick schemes. They know that real wealth is built over time by making smart decisions, staying patient, and letting compound interest do its thing. Most people want results now, as I was mentioning earlier, but the wealthy, they plant seeds, they water them, and they wait for the harvest. That's why they keep winning. Now, my final thoughts that I want to share with you guys is, look, getting rich isn't just about some luck or some secret formula. It's about habits, discipline, and playing the long game. The people who quietly build wealth, they don't waste time trying to impress anyone. They just make smart moves day by day, they stack their money, and they let everyone else figure it out later. So, which one of these habits do you already have? And which ones do you need to start working on? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you found this video helpful, please remember to smash that like button, subscribe, and remember to tune in every single week because I've got more videos coming your way. Thanks for watching.